embarrassed a little bit or something, like it makes you uncomfortable that you can do that. I mean, Barbara Streisand is the only person I've heard that can sing that high too.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you intentionally start the album that way, or that's just the way the song
No,
worked?
it just happened to be on that song. It just seemed like the intro was kind of, it starts out slow and then it breaks into the groove of the song, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. I don't know.
You never tried to shatter glass or anything?
No, I haven't tried that one yet. I don't know. Somebody told me that their garage door was opening once. Some little girl was playing it, and her mother was like, "Why is the garage door opening?" I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, it's much more pleasant than the garage door, but I think I think some people kind of envision you getting out of bed in the morning and having that be like the first sound out of your mouth.
Well, actually, if I'm having to do like a performance or something, I'll just test it out and see, is it there today? Okay, because it's not always there.
It's not? Mm-mm. Do you have to do something special to make sure you have that range, or
no, I don't know.
Just totally random?
Well, I don't know what it is. Sometimes actually if I'm hoarse, like if my regular voice is hoarse, it's almost better up there. I don't know. It's a strange thing. I had a really good time. I really did. I didn't enjoy myself like from first grade till 5th grade. I hated school, but then I had the best time from like 6th to 12th grade.
I've got to look at your high school yearbook.
Ew.
I'm sorry. It's my job.
At least you didn't see my junior high one.
That's an awkward period. I didn't do that to you. But under your picture it said that...
Oh, well, we were just kidding and all of that. Hello.
It said, I like to sleep late, and then I have a penchant for Guidos and Corvettes.
Why are you doing this to me? Get me out of here. I'm leaving. No. Okay.
I mean, that's pretty typical Long Island.
It is very
right?
Long Island, because at the time, I don't know who I thought I was. I don't know.
I'll tell you some stuff about me later.
It was funny, but actually they misprinted a lot of that stuff, so. The yearbook staff, you guys weren't on it at all.
What kind of student were you? I also read that your nickname was Mirage because you were a mirage in class. You were there sometimes, most of the time you weren't. Is that true?
Well, I mean, I don't want to like encourage anybody not to go to school or anything, you know, far be it from me, but I liked school. I was like more social in school than I was a student, and you know, I always knew I was going to be a singer. That's like my thing. I'm very lucky that I am, because right now, who knows what I'd be doing. But I don't know. I have trouble getting up in the morning, that's why. I couldn't take getting to first period on time.
Huntington Bay? Is that right?
I moved around my whole life. I moved around like 13 times from the time I was born till 6th grade, and then I stayed in one place.
Wow. Well, I get... And then were you in Huntington
I was
Bay
in
for
Huntington.
that time, for high school and stuff?
Yeah.
That's a wealthy area, right?
Some people are wealthy. I wasn't wealthy at all.
Was it tough to live in a wealthy area when you weren't one of the rich ones?
It was, but I mean, I don't want to sit here and complain about it now, because I had, you know, I always felt like I had the worst house, I have the worst this, I have the worst that, and you know, everybody else is like really coming from like well-off families and stuff. But I think that everything that I went through, not that it was so bad or I'm complaining about it, my mother gets really mad when she thinks I'm saying...
Well, at the time, though.
No, exactly, but I mean, you know, when you're growing up, you're like very insecure about things at times. But I think everything I ever went through made me who I am and motivated me more to be, you know, to strive for what I wanted to do. Because sometimes if you're too comfortable when you're growing up, it's just like, yeah, well, I'll do this for a while and then I'll do that. But I knew that I had to go for it, you know.
Mother is Irish and your father is black Venezuelan.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up biracial? Were you ever a victim of racism?
Well, my brother and sister, because they're older and they kind of grew up more like in the 70s and late 60s, they had a lot of bad stuff. People blew up their cars and poisoned their dogs and stuff like that. They had bad things happen to them. But because I grew up later, and also I only lived with my mom, really, so my parents were divorced when I was 3, so it wasn't like that much of a situation where, you know, it was the family living together and stuff.
How did did you ever feel like you were part of two different cultures, or did you mostly just identify with your mom?
Well, it was just that my mother raised me from, since I was a baby. And I think not because of any racial thing, but just because of the fact that my mother and I were so close. We were like best friends,
Right.
when I was growing up. That I really had a strong bond with her more so than my father, basically because they were divorced, not because of any racial thing at all.
You said your parents divorced when you were 3. What was it like not having a father around the house? Do you feel like you missed out on anything?
I don't at all. I'm actually glad that I grew up with just a single parent, a single mom, because I think it made me more independent, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I wish I had the Brady Bunch family. I used to, when I was little, I used to want to have the perfect family, and I used to be envious of people that had like the perfect, picture-perfect thing, but nothing's perfect. So, I'm glad about everything that I ever went through, and I think that my mom is a major reason why I'm here today, so.
Did it make it difficult to understand men, or when you're dating, or I don't know, I mean...
I don't think so. I don't think any more difficult than it is to understand men anyway.